What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a couch vlog. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Me and the family about to get ready to go to church in a little bit and have a little family fun. Nobody tells you that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I know that some people do feel a certain way about being in a church building, but do not forget that the people are the church. These are the people that Christ is married to and showing love and providing for. So always remember that even if you do read the word and you say you don't go to a church building, the people are the church. So you should be trying to fellowship with other believers or followers or trying to help people by serving. You know, it's not just a personal thing, it's also a community thing. Always remember that. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I put on my matches as Classic Alpha, a professional wrestler of 13 years. A lot of things is changing for me wrestling wise, and sometimes you just gotta look forward to it and then take the good and the bad. So pray for me during these times. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. And even though me and my wife have lost control, unfortunately, it is still our company. We're doing everything to get it back. Meantime, get tickets May 3rd, press star 3, Dyer, Indiana. Harold's private venue. Tickets are $5 off on Eventbrite. So if you're in Hammond, you're in Chicago, you're in Wisconsin, you're Midwest, you want to fly out to see some great wrestling, come get tickets on Eventbrite. I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people have talked about for the past few weeks. And it's Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. Now, some people are still happy to see him. They are rooting for him to win at WrestleMania. And some people, I believe, are tired of him already, or they just think he's gotten worse. So we are going to talk about it, and I'm going to give my opinions about the situation. All right. As far as Jey Uso's wrestling skill, it has not always been the best. And I think that a lot of people will, for the most, not a lot, I think some people will regulate him to being just a tag team wrestler, like a better tag team wrestler than a single star. I think that him and his brother Jimmy, they do great. I do think that they have a Hall of Fame run as a tag team, as the Usos and stuff like that. And I do think they've done a lot of things. But even then, as a tag team, they had the thing of doing a lot of super kicks and stuff like that. And I remember that when people were talking about the independents, and they were also talking about the Young Bucks fetishes with super kicks, and it's like some people did leave a blind eye and deaf ear to the Usos doing it. And I remember, was it WrestleMania 40? Yeah, WrestleMania 40. No, 39. I'm sorry. WrestleMania 39, where the Usos went against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and they were kicking the mess out of Sami Zayn, and somehow Sami Zayn was walking on his feet and was able to do a haluva kick after that. So, and I shout out to Arshawn from Clearly Drinking. We talk about it a lot. It was like, this match was not as good as people wanted it to be. I know there was the main event and stuff. I know it was the feel good moment. And I do feel like if Jey even wins against Gunther, which he probably will, that's just a feel good moment. But for match quality, it just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was just there. So even with them as a tag team, I think they've done great with character. I think more character than actually movesets. The Uso Penitentiary, the Lockdown, Day One-ish, Uso, and stuff like that. And the Bloodline stuff that like elevated everybody in that storyline. I do think that. But as far as wrestling, even them as a tag team, I wouldn't say they were like the best technically sound wrestlers. So even when they separated, a lot of us were excited for Jimmy and Jey to go against each other at WrestleMania 40. And honestly, it was a dud. It let a lot of people down. I thought the story was great. I thought the promo was great. Am I my brother's keeper? Showing old videos of them as kids acting like they were fighting. All of that was great. And then that match happened. And then I think it did leave like a sour taste in people's mouth because people was rocking with Jey and liking everything that he was doing because, he was great with his mannerisms and how he was acting and the emotions he was alluding to and stuff like that with Roman and then his brother and then with the bloodline in itself. I thought that he did great. And a lot of people were behind Jey Uso. Everybody was behind him. Even when like he feuded with Roman, he was like the first guy Roman faced when Roman had that long championship run. He was like, he gets sick of people asking which twin are you, and everybody knows who Roman is and stuff. Things that people felt. And I think that's what made people connect with Jey the most. Now, as a singles competitor for the past, 2 years possibly, his moveset has not been that great neither, but it's his personality that is what connects people. And I'm not saying that as just a bad thing, it's also a good thing. Stone Cold Steve Austin will be considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all times, but it's not for his ringmaster stuff. It's not for stunning Steve. Like, some people will look at that and they will study and they will cherish it because it is a part of Steve Austin's history. But most people is going to rock with him as Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was a beer drinking brawler. Couple elbow drops, Stone Cold stunners and stuff like that, and mud hole stomping. It's not the most technically sound moves to perform ever, but people are going to rock with that. You get what I'm saying? Hulk Hogan as well, Hulkamania and stuff like that, and leg dropping, hulking up and all of that, larger than life characters. So our hope isn't lost when it comes to the Jey Uso thing. I just think that now with social media and people looking at videos and stuff, and then almost every time he messes up, people are going to say something about it. Like, I've talked to my homie about it. You look at a Jey Uso match and you see that everybody's rocking with him. They're doing the yeet, the crowd thing. Everybody's loving it and stuff like that. But if you're expecting like a 5-star match, like crazy maneuvers from him outside like a couple dive out spots, you're not going to miss that. And then he added like the spear to his repertoire as a tribute to his cousin Roman Reigns, and it's okay. But even this week when he went against Austin Theory and he beat him in a few seconds, the spear didn't even look like a spear. It looked like some kind of crossbody. I don't know if it was a miscue or not. But if you are the person that is the highlight of the moment, that is the elephant in the room, they're going to blame that on you and not blame it on anybody else. Or if they just don't like you, they're going to blame it on the person who is, I don't want to say more relevant because I don't want to disrespect Austin Theory, but you know what I mean when I say that. The dive out, the bots. He barely touched anybody. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, maybe he's just getting worse because he's getting too comfortable. Maybe he's just winning it and he doesn't feel like that. And that happens to people. I mean, athletes like Shaq, right? Excuse me. Shaq was on top of the world with the Lakers and stuff like that, but then he wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't going to the gym, he wasn't eating right and stuff, started getting big and started being injury prone and stuff like that. That happens with wrestlers too. There's a lot of stories on either Dark Side of the Ring or documentaries where people's just like, hey, you know what? I was just feeling myself and I was just doing stuff that couldn't be stopped. I mean, even his, I don't know, Yokozuna is his cousin? I mean, his uncle? I believe so. I could be wrong, but still, you know, Yokozuna was on top of the world too. I think it was his uncle. There's so many of them. He was on top of the world too, but he kept eating. He kept eating. He kept eating. He kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then WWE did everything to try to help him lose weight and stuff, and he would try to get people to sneak him food. And certain colleges and stuff, certain areas he was at to try to lose weight and stuff. So hopefully that's just not the case. Hopefully it was just a flubby week. Like I said, as far as like his moveset, it's never been like the top moveset at all. I mean, him and Jimmy at one point, you would have felt that that's all they did was super kicks and splashes, and then the dance move that they be doing and stuff, and then oohs on the corner thing. So my thing is, maybe he has gotten it. Maybe he just needed a wake up call, because sometimes we do slack, and sometimes people will say, "Hey, you need to do better" or whatever like that. A lot of people are going to be upset if he does win against Gunther. A lot of people didn't even like that he won the Royal Rumble. So, still, I spoke about it myself. It seems like Jey is a better challenger than champion. I am looking forward to him against Gunther again. Hopefully, it'll be as good or better than what they did at Saturday night's main event, because Jey has went against a lot of former champions. And it's either somebody interfering or it's just somebody just got the best of him. So hopefully we'll see where it goes from him. Maybe the championship will make him be better, if that makes sense. But like I said, if he doesn't clean up some of the stuff, it will not be a long championship reign. It's a possibility. I mean, the crowd, for the most part, is behind Jey. I know a lot of people on the internet, they'll be like, well, their opinion is more valid than people who actually paid a lot of money and drove or flew to the area to see this wrestler or see this event. I know a lot of people will say that. That's your opinion, but I'm just saying, if people are paying money to go do that and stuff like that, that's more expensive than a view on YouTube, honestly, than one view. We gotta keep it real. So if a whole building, because even like when he won the Royal Rumble, a lot of people on the internet was upset about it. Oh, it's the worst guy. Nah, it should have been Cena. It should have been this and that. But then the next night when he showed up to Raw, they said they won. They had to replay a song. You deserve it. You deserve it. They were genuinely happy. So if I'm Jey Uso, who am I going to listen to for the most part? Am I going to listen to the people who paid for tickets to see this, to do the dance with me, to do all of this stuff? Who am I going to listen to more? And I do think that that is also an issue that people need to realize, is that just because you have an opinion and it may be valid to you and others, if people who are actually spending their hard-earned money to do this and spending it on their kids and stuff like that, that is also something else to think about as well. But like I said, as far as move wise and stuff like that, it's never been like somebody, like I said, that's been like a technically sound person. If I was to have the match go anyway, I would just have Gunther just basically, sort of what he did with Sammy. And it's nothing against Sammy. I think Sammy is the better wrestler than Jey, but I thought the layout of what they did was pretty good. Now, it'll be crazy if they do the same layout as well, because we just literally saw this last year. Jey talking to his son. His son is very motivational to him and makes him very emotional. He comes out, then he sees his brother right there hugging him. That'd be crazy to have that same storyline, but shoot, that'd be the best way to do it, in my opinion. I hope that Jey pulls out some extra stuff out the bag for the fact that it is WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? I do think that he can do a little bit better, but it's not just from what happened this week. I just think that's just what it is in general. Larger than life character, just try to have a little bit more of the move sets and stuff like that. With guys like Stone Cold and things like that, those guys were great in their time and considered some of the greatest wrestlers in the world. But at the same time, things have changed. I can look at Jey Uso's match 5 times in a row. I can look at his match 5 times in a row without trying to wait another week and stuff like that. I can look at where he messes up and stuff like that, because people are very analytical when it comes to certain things. So, I don't know. I do think that he does need to step it up. I've been saying this in like videos and stuff like that, but if he does win, it'll be a feel-good moment, and hopefully he just does great and succeed or whatever like that. If you don't like him, that's cool. But still, that's just how I feel about the situation. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like Jey? Are you tired of Jey? Do you think he needs to change? Does he need to lose his championship? Let me know. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.